Yeah, hello and welcome to my case study of the product MBA. Let's dive right into it. So, a quick overview on how I approached the product MBA. The first objective was, of course, to validate the problem, which I think occurred, is present. And second objective was to validate the actual offer of the outcomes, and the third objective to kind of do some strategic planning on how to approach to solve this problem. And then, of course, the next objectives would be to validate the prototype and to iterate further on the product itself. But yeah, these are future tasks, more or less. So what problem are we solving for and for whom? So my assumption was we want to help shops and clinics achieve better workloads with the digital waiting line. So, because especially during Corona times, we saw there was a bunch of shops and waiting lines occurring like everywhere in everyday life, in front of shops and clinics to getting vaccinations. So people were not allowed inside anymore, and of course, no shows, especially with people booking an appointment not showing up, would leave free slot, would leave some time for the shops to sell goods and services to other clients. So the assumption was, offering them like a virtual queuing solution, a waiting line, would reduce the no-shows. And so the objective number one was to validate that this is a real acute problem. In order to validate this assumption, I did 5 different discovery calls with people from the industry, with people from my friends, from my friends and family, and also contacted a few contacts through LinkedIn, who were then agreed to have a discovery call. These discovery calls then helped me to gather some insights and to actually validate the actual problem. And I had some key findings from these calls, and so one was that no-shows reduce the revenue of the shops, because they were assigning people to certain slots, certain appointments, and if they didn't show up, of course they would have had the chance to to sell a good service to another client. And then in more detail, probably more tech perspective on this was that there are already solutions on the market. Of course, we're not developing something completely new here, but the biggest problem people are currently facing is that there's a one-stop shop solution missing. So people kind of wanted or gave me the feedback that it would be great to have the customer data and appointment management system all in one, so not 2 separate solutions, but one to kind of import the customer data and then connect it or marry it to the appointments, in order also to, at a later stage, gather some insights and for data analytics and waiting times, and probably for upselling in the very future. And also another very interesting feedback was, of course, more on the shops than on the clinic side, was that payment solution would also be, of course, much appreciated or very helpful in order to be able to clients to sell or buy the service directly and then just click and collect, like pick them up right away, and not having to kind of enter the shop and go through the sales process again, especially thinking back of the Corona times when it was very limited, people only allowed in shops. The second objective was to validate the following offer. The reason it's with our target niche. We help shops and clinics achieve better workload with our digital waiting line. What I used in order to validate this offer was so-called differentiation with Blue Ocean Strategy Canvas, which was comparing our offer with the most relevant other competitors and kind of figuring out what our niche is, and then also kind of designing a product story canvas, like what makes our product unique, and of course product vision, in order to make sure we know where we're going, and that we can create an offer for our clients that is unique and that is understandable and that is feelable. So here basically you can see the process, or some screenshot from the process of creating a very basic prototype and making sure our minimum viable offer is understandable and that our potential clients understand what we're aiming for and what differentiates our products from other products. So the validated product vision was that we would come up with an all-in-one digital wedding solution that makes it easier for especially clinics and no-shows to import the customer data and have a one-stop shop or one-stop solution for all the different needs. The third objective was the strategic planning then and alignment to ensure the long-term product success. We wanted to make sure that we not only have a clear offer to our potential clients, but also kind of plan a roadmap on how to get there, set up an initial prototype, and define the line around the lean canvas, which is a framework to use when designing products. And then also the next step was important to kind of define the line around the team topology. So who's taking care of what kind of teams are taking care of the customers, who's taking care of the lead generation, who's taking care of the platform itself, and kind of already have some basic structure in mind. So in order just to give you an idea of how this process went, we went through different stages and came up with ideas, sharing them, and also then voting on our assumptions. And I'm not sure if I should go into very detail on each one of them, or
I would say, what kind of info do you think would be valuable if you were pitching this to stakeholders at your company, for example?
And especially one thing that we wanted to focus on regarding our roadmap was the integration of our solution into existing solutions like HubSpot, for example. So here we focused on our roadmap on the strategic and seamless integration into other existing solutions like HubSpot, and kind of went through like a voting process to make sure that this feature is actually like a very valid and important strategic point on a roadmap. And then we kind of also made up our mind on what outcome do we want to achieve with this prototype and what kind of prototype to use. So this also went through various stages of iteration, and we assumed that we would really need some real clients to use our solution to validate our assumptions, and not only assumptions, but also taking a look at possible risks. The feasibility risks was a risk involved for our product, but not the biggest pain. Of course we do have a value risk, but we thought this value risk is kind of not neglectable, but it's kind of clear to understand what value will give to the customers. So the biggest risk I saw was the usability risk. So to make sure that the solution is easy to use and will immediately deliver value to potential clients. This is why the usability risk was taken into focus. And in order to take or conquer these risks, a live data prototype would be the most useful prototype to use, which would give the most insights into customer interaction and help understand how to best deliver value, especially looking back on the integration part, to make sure that our potential clients understand immediately, there's an easy integration of customer data and the waiting line to see that our product delivers value. We then moved on to the lean canvas, which is a framework used to make sure advantages and disadvantages were of the product, what kind of cost structure would come up, and what revenue streams are possible for our product. And we came to the conclusion that the problem is we want to reduce wait times and no-shows and optimize the workload of clinics and shops. Who would be like a cloud-based solution, and our unique value proposition is to be able to serve more customers by automated rescheduling. So whenever someone cancels their current appointment, we can automatically, the algorithm can automatically propose like a new slot. The advantages this would have, of course, we would have a digital cloud-based solutions. We can target customers would be clinics and shops, likely clinics as early adopters, and shops, or even retail chains who might take a bit longer to start using our solutions. The unfair advantages would be, of course, high costs of switching from one product to another. This is why this integration and migration part was so important. But the other unfair advantage would be, of course, the leverage. We could leverage customer data for upselling. We would kind of be able to gather, maybe unlimited, but together customer data and customer insights, which would then could then be used to for further upselling. Key metrics that we decided that would be helpful for our product would be of course the Net Promoter Score, the customer happiness. This can be then also leveraged or published somewhere to make sure to attract more customers to the shops and clinics. The average wait time, of course, is the key metric that is important for our solution, because we pitch it that it reduces the waiting times, it reduces no-shows. So of course this should be something very visible and upfront visible to make sure that value is delivered to the clients. There's of course existing alternatives, ticket-based systems like old school, where you really pull the ticket out of a machine, calendars and apps, and other tools like Doctolib. But this is what we did the Blue Ocean canvas for, in order to find out what kind of niche we want to attract. Regarding cost structure, of course, we'll have a lot of development costs and maybe little server costs, and also probably additional costs for partnerships to approach clinics or shops or retail chains, and revenue streams. Regarding revenue streams, we could approach or generate revenue through targeted subscriptions, pay per number of appointments, pay per have different tiers depending on how many tickets are sold, or waiting times, service level agreements, and so on. And of course, we could then also offer bundled advanced services like having like a basic subscription, like a premium subscription or an enterprise subscription, which would then offer additional services like data analytics, for example. As mentioned previously, this part of the workshop dealt with also with team topology. So we made up my mind on how the setup of the team could look like for this specific product. And on the platform we have different levels. On the platform level, of course, we would have like a platform team and a mobile team to make sure notifications can be sent to different operating systems on the mobile or on the browser and on websites. We would need a development team or an enablement team, especially development and operations team. Also, of course, which is crucial to any business, the payments team, which makes sure all the payments come into the business, who also deals with refunds or possible affiliate programs, and recurring revenues basically. Then we would also need like a customer acquisition or retention sales team who will give demos to potential clients, who does a bit of marketing, but this was also on a different level. We'll have a marketing social media specialty team that will generate leads and be the first kind of point of contact for most of our potential clients. Yeah, but as I didn't do any prototype, this is where kind of we ended up with, and
awesome.
now happy to get your feedback.
Nice. Good. Max, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go quick fire bullet point feedback on the case study itself. I'll then pause the recording, and then we'll just talk about sort of general next steps for you. Good. Okay. So very clear. I think your introduction was very clear. Your general tone is nice. I think you've got a good presentation style. You change tone when you change slide, which is good, right? So you keep people's attention. Really small thing to improve. I wouldn't raise this usually, but I think because you're already at a pretty good level.
Yeah.
Cutting out, I do this, by the way. Cutting out, you say yeah and quite a lot.
1 second, sorry, not right now, the bell's ringing.
No worries. I'll restart the recording. Sorry, so yeah, really small thing, but I think, again, I think you're pretty good now to go to the next level. Cutting out these, using silence more works really well. I do it with things that I say right or okay. I try to just cut it out over time though. It really helps you make the point better. On objective, the first objective and key results, this is good. You're very clear, but you also sounded pretty comfortable with the concepts and why these things connect together. Shows a good level of understanding to me, rather than just blindly listing off things you're reading off the slide, which many people do. I love the fact that you didn't just, you gave your nice overview of discovery call learnings, but you also talked about why this is important. Like, why are we doing the discovery calls? So important. Discovery's got a very bad name for a good reason. It's usually just complete bullshit. It's very fluffy. We don't really get any result. So for stakeholders, you want to also keep showing like, this is why it's really important. Or for example, one thing you could improve upon, your first point, it says no shows reduce revenue. Probably not a surprising point to make to stakeholders. So what you could do is say, what was some unique or interesting thing that you learned about that key point? Or the second one you did really well. You gave some nice depth to it. To again show, rather than them going, yeah, we know this stuff already, it's like, oh, actually, this is quite interesting. Or here's a really surprising point. So just how you sell, you're not just selling the key points, you're selling product discovery generally. On the second objective key result, again, very good. I loved, again, how you talked about not just saying, next I did Blue Ocean. You said, like, why are we doing this thing? What is the value? What is it in simple language? We don't even need to use these clever sounding words like Blue Ocean, strategic roadmap. Just say in simple English, what is this thing and why was it important? Good. Product vision, I thought was clear, but different in this context. But this kind of thing is so important when you're sharing this. So you're setting yourself up and coming in really strong. Here's the product, but this is the thing you want to be inspiring people, your team behind. So if you just go, right, so next was the product vision and it's to do da-da-da. If I'm not, if you're not excited, why am I going to be excited about it? Same thing with the hero's journey, right? Context is different here, obviously, but just something to remember. Again, objective and key result 3, great explanation, very clear, and explanation of why. Like, why the hell are you telling me this stuff? You gave good reasoning there. Strategic roadmap, good. When you share with stakeholders, this is quite a unique thing, right? Because generally, we don't want stakeholders to come out saying, right, Max has said we're going to build these 10 features and that's what's happening. No, we want to share the outcomes and say, look, we're really confident these are the outcomes we're going to drive towards. You might say, look, and here's a couple of ideas we've got, but making it really clear we're not committing to these. We're just some ideas that might help us achieve the outcome. So remember, we have a bit of education there because it's a new concept for them in many cases. Prototype, excellent. You explained why you made that choice. Again, really important, that education piece, rather than just saying, here's the prototype. No, we think this risk is really important versus these other ones. Lean Canvas, good. I was writing all these notes like, he hasn't talked about metrics or revenue, but then you went and did it. So why was it good? Because you talked about in detail the kind of things that business stakeholders are going to worry about. What is that? That's things like key metrics. Why did you choose average wait time versus other possible ones? Revenue. Why did you choose those revenue models versus other ones? Why did you think they made sense? You gave that is one of the points where you want to go detailed, as you did. You don't just list off, existing alternatives, yeah, great, whatever. We can maybe list that off quickly. Unfair advantage was the only one I felt was a bit shallow, but this is quite, the unfair advantage, we're looking at quite advanced product strategy technique. So you sort of said, well, high cost of switching would be important. And well, why? I don't think people understand what that even is in many cases. Same with like leveraging customer data. So going in a bit more detail there. Topology, good. I think your refund team would be a streamlined team, in fact, because it's not using complex data. So I get why, because it's sort of technical, right, in terms of the affiliates. So, I mean, I think the intention's right, which is you've got this sort of relatively technical team there. That's what's most important. Good.